call the meeting to order and call on Councilor Jennings to lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Councilor Jennings.
here.
Councilor Broughton.
Here.
Councilor Watson. Councilor Barton.
Here.
Councilor Brown.
Here.
Mayor Lovelace.
Here.
We have a quorum to do business.
Approval of the March 14th meeting minutes.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the March 14, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilor Broughton, a second by Councilor Barton to approve the March 14th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilor Jennings.
Yes.
Councilor Broughton.
Yes.
Councilor Barton.
Yes.
Councilor Brown.
Yes.
The minutes for March 14th, 2022 are approved.
First item under new business is Arbor Day Proclamation. In recognition of Arbor Day in the City of Brewton, whereas the economic and aesthetic welfare of the people of Alabama is largely dependent on the trees and forest lands of the state, and whereas everyone in the City of Brewton benefits either directly or indirectly from trees and forest lands, and whereas trees provide jobs, products, habitat for wildlife, and recreational opportunities, and whereas trees provide oxygen, help purify the air, play an important role in the water cycle, help neutralize waste, water, stabilize the soil, and whereas trees are an invaluable physical and psychological addition to the city that provide shade and cool the air, reduce noise levels and glare. And whereas the management of trees increase their benefit to our city through planting, maintenance, timely removal and replacement, and whereas well-maintained town trees benefit present and future generations, now therefore the mayor and council of the City of Brewton do hereby proclaim the week of April 3rd through April the 9th, 2022 as Arbor Week, and encourage each citizen to participate in tree planting activities during this week. Proclaim this 28th day of March, 2022. The next item is to approve a carnival fee adjustment for the T.R. Miller Athletic Club, and I will call on Monty McGugan.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Here today on behalf of the T.R. Miller Athletic Club, asking permission for us to host a carnival beginning April the 3rd through April the 9th in the parking lot beside the Tractor Supply. The Athletic Club would like to request a business license fee be reduced from $350 per day to a single $350 for the event. To our understanding, the council has always approved this reduction in the past, and I would ask that y'all please do that for us this year to be able to raise money for that program.
Thank you.
So I need a motion to that effect.
I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilor Broughton, a second by Councilor Jennings to approve the fee reduction for the carnival for the T.R. Miller Athletic Club. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilor Jennings?
Yes.
Councilor Broughton?
Yes.
Councilor Barton?
Yes.
Councilor Brown?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you.
She's McGugan.
Next is to approve a sanitary sewer rehabilitation agreement for the Alco Outfall to U.S. Highway 31, resolution number 22-0328-1. And I'll call on Russell Holland.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. The Utility Department identified a deficient sewer line over in the Alco area that serves residences up around Alco Lake. That outfall line transports raw sewage from that residential area to the sewer lagoon. Once they discovered this issue, they immediately instituted bypass pumping, which has been taking place, as Mr. Jackley informed me, since before Thanksgiving? The day before Thanksgiving. And so that bypass pump continues to run. We have generated a project for that area, advertised and received bids. That's what you'll see in front of you today. We received a bid from Beasley & Company. in the amount of $407,984. That will cover the repairs to the deficient area of the line and also rehabilitate a section south of that, carry that line all the way across Highway 31. Really just solidifying that line for the future so we don't have any problems in the long term.
Russell, as you know, I have to send this award to Director Boswell at ADECA.
Yes, sir.
So if we're not voting on it today, but if we were adding the additional fees for engineering and so forth, what would the total be?
It's going to be a little less than $500,000. I don't know that exact.
Because the grant's $500,000.
Okay, it'll be a little less
So
than
in
$500,000.
round numbers, yeah.
It'll definitely be a little less than $500,000. When we ran an estimate on it to begin with engineering fees and what we thought this project would cost, it was about $540,000. That was an estimated construction cost of about $457,000, I think. And the bids came in about $50,000 cheaper than that. So if you throw engineering back in that number right there, you'll be a little less than $500,000.
You say you put a bypass line in there?
There's a bypass pump with a bypass line that runs down. It actually bypasses about 1,000 feet of that outfall line right now. It's been running since before November. It costs right around $6,300 a month to run that.
About $8,300 the first month, then it's about $6,300 a month.
Just to have the bypass there?
Yeah, fees is, what it is, the pump system, the manhole on the upper end. And we got what's called a lake flat 6-inch, leads the pump, lay on top of the ground. It's sealed with couplings where it won't leak out, and it goes in the manhole on the lower end where the line goes back and works good, and it dumps into that manhole. And it's, that's how we bypass it, because we had to do something because it just don't work.
And most of that cost would be included in that grant.
That's correct.
Any other questions? So need a motion on resolution number 22-0328-1.
Motion to approve Resolution 22-0328-1.
Second.
I have a motion by Counselor Brown, a second by Counselor Barton to approve Resolution 22-0328-1. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Counselor Jennings,
Yes.
Counselor Broughton,
Yes.
Counselor Barton,
Yes.
Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Resolution 22-0328-1 is approved.
Thank you, Council.
Next item is program update from Steve Layton to tell us about pickleball.
My subject's a little bit lighter. Thank you, Mayor and Council. How many people in this room have ever heard of pickleball, first of all?
Heard of.
Okay. I've been approached by the mayor, and by Vivian Layton, Karen Reynolds, and Jackson Hines, who's here today, to talk about pickleball in Brewton, Alabama. And this is a game that has been featured on NBC News as the fastest growing sport in the U.S. Pickleball currently is offered here in Brewton at the area gym. They have a couple of courts set up inside, and visitors that we've had here are starting to see it, play it, and the ones that are coming here are saying, where are your outdoor courts and who are your pickleball players? This is something that's going to be growing in Brewton. It's already all around us. We just haven't hit that craze yet. Pickleball to me is what I see as the gateway to tennis. And if you look at the rackets, most young kids cannot start off swinging a racket that big. But pickleball is something that's a lot lighter and smaller. So it's a gateway to tennis. It's also an exit sport from those of us who play tennis, but we're too old to run a full-size court, and we're too old to swing a full-size racket. So it's that entry sport to tennis, and it's the exit sport to tennis. I've got a short video that I'm going to show that gives you an idea of how it's played and what it is.
Hey, I'm Matt Goebel, and I'm here to talk to you guys about pickleball. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America. It was invented by three dads on Bainbridge Island back in 1965. It's a combination of tennis, ping pong, and badminton. It's played on a badminton-sized court with a net about 2 inches shorter than a tennis net. You play it with a paddle a little bit bigger than a ping pong paddle and a little more durable wiffle ball. You can play it as either doubles or singles. So singles is one-on-one, doubles is a combination of two teams, 2-on-2. It's growing for a number of reasons. It's a lot easier on the body, and it's a lot easier to pick up. Most racket sports require hours and hours of lessons. But with pickleball, you can walk onto a court, pick up a paddle, and within 5 minutes of learning how to play, you can be playing a competitive game with your friends. It's a really fast-paced sport, which takes advantage of your quick hands and reflexes, but it's also strategic. It's like a chess match on a court. Pickleball is a great workout. It's fun for all ages and skill levels, whether you've been playing tennis your whole life or you've never picked up a paddle or a racket before. Pickleball is a really social sport. Unlike tennis, you're really close to your opponents and your partner, which allows for more of a social environment on and off the court. And it's a super competitive sport with tournaments all across the nation all year round. If you want to learn more about pickleball and how to play, go to playpickleball.com.
To give you an idea of what it looks like being played, the scale, like I said, you see how much smaller the paddle is. You're looking at a court that's about half the size of what a normal tennis court is. And the net, like he said, is 2 inches lower. So that's what you're talking about as far as court size. We're in the process of kind of talking with the YMCA about what their plans are to offer, and then also we're looking at other places where we can put some of these courts in as well. So I'm just kind of bringing you up to date as far as information about the sport, where it's going, and it's something you're going to be seeing around Brewton, people discussing it. So when it comes up in conversation, you'll know what they're talking about.
So with the Y, is that conversation about indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor. And if you know where their pavilion is, I walked with Rob Kirkland to look at that property that they have out in front of that pavilion. On one side, they have beach volleyball. They have a pavilion there. But that area between the pavilion and Belleville is open enough that we probably could start with 2 courts there with the possibility of adding 2 more. The great thing about that is they're open to having the public come in and play and not necessarily have to be a member of the Y. It would be open for the public to play there, and then if they're interested in other programs at the Y, they could sign up for that. But that's something we're in discussions about right now. The great thing about the tennis courts at the T.R. Miller High School, the high school team plays there, they play all their tournaments and do all their practices, but when the team is not playing there, it's open to the public. So that's one of those projects that we can see as successful already as something that could be done with pickleball as well.
Any questions? Thank you, Steve. Also, item E, which we added, was a replacement on the Retail Development Committee, and I appoint Councilor Kerry Brown. Being no further business, the meeting is adjourned.